music fans, welcome to another episode of Connections. Today I'm excited to be speaking with a wonderful trio of ladies from Canada. They are ViVA Trio.
Hello ladies, we're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
So tell us a little bit what it's like in Canada right now.
Boy,
well, we can only talk about Ontario. I mean, everywhere in Canada is so different, but certainly in Toronto, we're back in lockdown. I mean, we're each sort of in our different districts in Toronto, but we're all back in lockdown, and
they're
contemplating curfew, and geez,
it's our third major lockdown, but it feels like we've pretty much been locked down for the entire year. Not much has been changed in that time. So,
well, the weather is getting better.
Yes,
thumbs up. So at least you don't have to sit indoors, right? So
that's
you can
right.
sit indoors and enjoy, wonderful spring. So that's a positive.
That's true. Yeah, the weather is getting nicer.
Yeah, so we can look forward to more walks. Is anyone do you have a pet that you're quarantining with? Because they're very excited about this period of time. Yes. Okay.
I do, and she is. I just asked my partner to take her into the room because otherwise she'd be right here on my lap with her face right here in the screen, because she thinks that wherever I go, that's where she needs to be. She's very, very attached. And she actually, I got her during the couple of months right before we went into lockdown. So I got her in December of 2019. And then of course, March, we locked down. So she's pretty much a COVID puppy, and she's very much joined at the hip with me, which has been fun, and I can't complain. But it's going to be a very interesting, harsh reality when things go back.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. When tours start happening, oh my goodness, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're actually all looking forward to that. Katya and I don't have pets, we have sons.
You have babies.
So mine is not a baby, but yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a big thing to undertake right now. I don't know if the schools were open or if you were having to do the homeschooling at home.
It's been back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a baby. He's 1.5. He doesn't care. So
he's loving life right now.
He's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
So for anyone who hasn't heard ViVA Trio, obviously they're this amazing group, and you guys have kind of blown up on YouTube. You've done wonderful tours, real life shows. But just let's go, each of you. Let's start with Erin, then Katya, then Anna, and a little bit about your musical background and how you got into it.
Oh, okay. So I'm sort of the newest member of the group. I'm the mezzo, which means I sing the lowest. And, but not to say that I don't have high notes. I can still, get a few of those out. But yeah, no, I came from an opera background like we all did. And I started at UBC in Vancouver, and then came across and sang with the Canadian Opera Company, which is local here in Toronto. And then I was teaching and found these ladies, and that's when we sort of connected. So, yeah.
Oh, you were in some, was a district Met competition?
Yeah. Yeah, that was when I was a wee little thing. Over 10 years ago now. Yeah, I did a Met competition. I sort of went through all the auditions, as you do in your final year of university. And so I was auditioning all over the country, and I was auditioning for the Met and this sort of stuff. And so I went on through the Met competition a little bit, and that was really fun. And but mostly I was auditioning for young artist programs in opera companies all around Canada. And I had a lot of success, so I was really lucky that I got to choose. So actually, I chose Toronto, and I feel like that's always a serendipitous decision. All synchronicity is sort of comes from, that pull of destiny, and I always just was interested to follow that. So I just always felt drawn to come here. And anyways, so yeah, one thing leads to another. Here we are.
How about you, Katya?
Okay. So singing was a part of my life since I was a baby, and performing, and starting with choirs and school choirs, and then a radio and TV choir in Kiev, Ukraine, and then I started to be a part of groups and ensembles. So there were like, I think that was early on, I realized that I really love to perform as a collective. Like, of course I'm a soloist and I performed as a soloist a lot of times, but thinking now, ViVA Trio is like my fifth group altogether, and literally a third group that I put together myself. So always loved, as I was saying, to perform. Graduated when I came to Canada, graduated from the Royal Conservatory of Music, RICT, then professional diploma in singing, then Opera School of University of Toronto. Had a lot of fun time there. Audition, did a lot of performances here and there, and then I started a family. So for me it was kind of like, okay, schooling, performing, now family. And then that brought me to, okay, what I can do now in my career. And the next step was, you know what, I'd love again to put together a group. And basically Anna was my, a jam from the very beginning. And we, we found a very good rapport. And in the previous group, she was, the soloist and the leader. And then ViVA Trio came out of that.
And so was your first group, I think I saw in your bio, was it Ukrainoshka?
Yes, I was a part of Ukrainoshka. I was soloist there. And I actually have something on iTunes that the album that I recorded. It's very cool. It's, of course, Ukrainian pop, folk pop. And because I was always drawn to something else than classical. I love classical. I believe that to be here I'm a prima donna speaking, to be a good soloist, you have to understand classical technique. And then you can take it wherever you want. But I think it's honestly the healthiest technique out there, how to handle the breath, with the larynx, everything. I mean, honestly, it only helps when you do any sorts of music. And basically it doesn't matter where your life brings you to. So love it. Love singing, love performing, love the ladies. I mean, I always feel so lucky, and I'm just, I consider myself so lucky that these two are part of this group. And the previous one, as you probably also saw, was Naria group, and it was more pop opera than
more strictly pop opera.
More pop, like pop and opera. Now ViVA Trio, the goal was to rebrand and just change the approach into a true crossover. So when we sing still with our classical training. I'm sorry, technique. I haven't taught yet today.
I was gonna say.
Oh, my high notes.
Yeah, it's all good.
So a little bit different. And as we are going to be talking a little bit more, that even ViVA Trio is constantly morphing into something different, exploring, creating, and that we love doing that.
I was just going to jump off of what Katya just said there. Even though we all come from operatic backgrounds, we all also have a lot of experience in, musical theater. I've done pop and jazz. Like, we all have done a lot of variety of things. So although we all come from like formally an opera training, we all like all the different genres and like to play around with that.
I think it just makes them more rich. I mean, obviously I love opera and I have so much respect for them, but I don't find myself listening to full operas. Whereas
me neither. I used to, but
so you kind of, this rich mix is wonderful to see. How about you, Anna?
Yeah, so, well, you heard a little bit about the background with Naria, and my beginning was, like Katya, I've always been singing. I like Aaron as well. I think we've all got
of us,
right from day one. My mom was a singer, dancer, actress, so I sort of come from that line of that bloodline. So when I moved to Toronto, I'm from Victoria, BC. So I decided when I was old enough to spread my wings and head out on my own. I came over to Toronto because I knew that I could get what I wanted and needed here. And so came here, and I chose a different route. I decided to do all of my training privately. And then I hit the stage almost immediately, auditioning and getting roles and building up my repertoire that way. So I learned very much hands-on straight away on the scene, as well as doing my training. I trained here in Toronto. I also did some young artist programs in the UK and in Germany and in France, so I've had a little bit of that peppered in there as well. And always kept Toronto as a home base. And then I think, my gosh, this is crazy to say, but like 10 years ago now, I met Katya. And she was putting together Naria. And so I was at a point in my life where, as much as I loved opera and everything that I was doing, I also wanted to explore something else at the same time. So I thought this was a great opportunity, and she was awesome, and we met and chatted, and so that sort of happened, and we've been working together ever since. Like, pretty much, I think I've seen you more than anybody in you know? So, so, and some amazing things happened with Naria. We got to travel to France, and we were showcased there. We were showcased in the US, and so we had some great times there. And that brought us to the period of time when Aaron came on board, and we decided to sort of go this slightly different, more classical, embracing more of the operatic roots, as well as keeping the classical crossover in there. And that brings us to ViVA. So, and now I think we're almost 6 years later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is I think this is definitely our 6th year. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's literally crazy. Yeah, we've done a lot of stuff, but
yeah. It
been
still
good.
feels fresh, you know?
It does feel still new. Yeah, for sure.
So tell us, I mean, right from the beginning, you came up with this idea. You wanted to kind of change the path with ViVA, starting with, like, was it the people that came first, like it sounds, and then the name that came afterwards?
Yeah, actually, exactly. Yeah.
We all brainstormed on names for, oh my God, at least 2 months.
Couple of months easily.
Yeah,
we had a list as long as my arm of names.
Oh,
we sat with all of them. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
hard to find a good name. The one that actually sounds good in all the languages, it's international. People recognize and kind of memorable, right? And then we realized that actually we shot ourselves in the foot, because ViVA is a bit too big, and that's when the trio came in. It's like, you know what? Google ViVA Trio, we're the only one as a vocal group. So which is helpful to find us.
And did you start kind of experimenting with performances, or did you go straight into the studio with an idea of what you wanted?
Well, I'll jump in here. When we first started, we had a few performances lined up. So we were performing basically out of the gate. But then right as soon as that was sort of kind of slowing down, we started to work on not only just original material, but putting together, brainstorming for our first album together as a group. And that was a massive like 2-year project. From when we started, it took about almost 1.5 years, I think, to at least to put that together and get that out. And and that gave us so many legs. You know, we've toured North America and in Europe, and you know, just being able to share that music.
Yeah, and that's been our the Nothing Else Matters album has really been our calling card. We've got the stage show that came about as a result of that we toured with, and that was a huge undertaking, but it's definitely had legs now for the past few years, so it's been great.
And
classics. I was just gonna say, I mean, they're great songs, so you know.
And did you really try to find kind of well-known songs for that reason? Yeah.
Well, we wanted to start with covers because everybody knows them already. Everybody loves them. And we, of course, wanted to create our own unique way of doing covers. And so that was one of the most important things I think that we did with that first album, was decide our sort of signature style of putting covers together and how we were going to morph them into a Vivified version.
Yeah, and when we were listening through, because of course, again, the list was huge of options that we were looking at to include on the album, but there was always the main goal in mind that it had to sound good if we sang classically with it, because you can't take just any pop song and make it, classical voice friendly, so to speak. So we were drawn to artists that had that grander feeling. Duran Duran, of course, Metallica, classically trained artists themselves. So anything that gave us these really long, beautiful, sweeping lines, more of an orchestral feel, we could hear when we listened to their versions. You could almost hear it orchestrated in your mind as you listen to it. That was really important to us, and we stayed true to it, I think, in pretty much every song on that album. Yeah.
Yeah, the repertoire is so important because you're mentioning you can't do any song. And I don't know if you guys have heard of G4. They're a wonderful group, but when they were on, I think, X Factor, someone had them do Oops, I Did It Again.
Oh, dear.
Yikes.
That is really important. And I think another thing, too, is the use of the Italian language can really enhance it. But sometimes I think you have to be careful. Like, you guys use it in a very beautiful way, but it can just be like a slap, like, oh, let's just make it Italian, it's going to make it classical, and that's not necessarily how it's,
Yeah, we like to we're so detail oriented and in all of our approaches, and of course there's 3 cooks in the kitchen, so we really go through it with a fine-tooth comb and make decisions about what we think is tasteful, because that's really important to all of us, to make sure that the end product is really tasteful and hopefully timeless.
Yeah. No, I heard this great quote from this pedagogue I follow, and he said, there's always room for good music.
Yeah.
So, you'd be like, it's a cover, but it's like, I don't know, I always look for covers. When I see somebody new, I say, what are they singing that I know, that I can kind of gauge?
Well, it's a good way to kind of not judge them, but to sort of like know where they're at with things. If you can do an amazing cover, I think no one is ever going to do it necessarily like Leonard Cohen. Mind you, he's not got the most popular version of his song Hallelujah, but no one can do it like Duran Duran. But if we can do it justice, no one can do it like Nothing Else Matters like Metallica does. But if we can do that justice and take it to a place that perhaps the artists themselves never would have imagined, I mean, that's pretty cool. So.
And what was the touring coming out of it? Because I have seen, obviously you have these beautiful videos, and then you have some tour videos where you're doing like Quando Menvo, some really fun stuff on stage.
Yeah, we like to ham it up. We're all we're all stage animals, really, at the end of the day. We adore being on stage. We love performing for an audience. We love the give and take and the share. And so when we were putting the Nothing Else Matters show together, we decided that we really wanted to include a little bit of that. When I say shtick, it maybe sounds silly, but it's a little bit
fun.
We like to have fun with our audiences and break it up.
Including the audience, bring the lights up, let them feel like they've got a moment where they're connecting with us. And so we included the Quando Menvo, which was, literally they're up on stage with us at that moment. We have a diva competition, which is,
which is hilarious and fun.
And we honestly, those are the highlights of the show for us.
Yeah.
I know when we're on stage, we love doing that. So
it's nice to let people have a moment, right, with us. And I mean, with COVID, post-COVID, we're not sure how any of that's going to fly, but when we were on tour, it was just such a highlight, like Anna's saying. Yeah. And Katya actually is really good at leading these moments on stage with people, and she gets them singing. Oh my God, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, even when we planned Nothing Else Matters album, the ultimate goal was to bring it on stage and to bring it with the full orchestra. All our songs are orchestrated, and it is a magical moment when you can perform the composition like either you wrote or the cover with the full orchestra. And we of course love doing that, and from there on we kind of were hooked. So now no matter what we do, it's like, okay, how is that going to sound with orchestra and stuff like that. And therefore when we do perform, we don't want to come across that we're always serious, we're always dramatic, which we love doing that.
Very good at that.
For the audience sake, you want to have fun. You go to the pop concerts or any concert, R&B, and most of the time you're there, you're popping, you're dancing. Well, you come to the opera and you sit like that, and and you just in your own box in your own and we wanted to give something extra. We wanted people to have fun with us, to come on stage. Well, not right now, but maybe again soon, and be a part of our, scenes of that opera scene. To be judging us. To the diva competition is a fantastic example when people actually vote who is the best, and but we are competing in our genre. Like I'm singing even in Russian, and Billy
That's
Anna
right.
in German, and Erin in French. So wonderful times. Yeah.
And
so I really hope we can do it again soon.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
And we love, I think all three of us have a good time with the picking fun at ourselves and each other on stage. And I think people like to see that, because then they get to see, because that's a bit of our personality anyway. We're very
totally.
lighthearted. We're very lighthearted and easygoing, and we do get along very well. So it's fun for us up on stage to be able to show the audience that, and not that it's just all this very serioso stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us some of the places that you guys toured as a group.
Oh, well, most recently in February, like, we were so lucky. This is, again, synchronicity or whatever, the graces of God. We were able to complete our Canadian national tour. So we most recently in February of 2020, we were able to do a tour of Canada. So we were very fortunate to do that. And then before that, we were in the States touring their Northwest. And
in Poland.
And then in Poland, and our Polish tour got canceled. Yeah. Oh, that was such a bummer.
We were supposed to go back to Poland and perform in a number of different places last August, and it was just, of course, I mean, we had things getting ramped up for Europe. It was Poland, but it was also going to be other countries as well. And anyways, so that got canceled. That was kind of a bummer. So anyways, rescheduling.
Yes,
soon, hopefully. But I don't know. I haven't been to Poland. I've been to Ukraine, and the halls are just so stunning. So what is it like performing there?
Oh, it's unreal. You walk anywhere we walked into, we were just in awe, and in awe of the musicians that were there, and honestly just such lovely people we came across. Just some of the most, I don't know, I can speak only for myself, but I'm pretty sure the ladies agree, some of the most beautiful people we met were over there in Poland. It was truly wonderful. Yeah And we got the opportunity to head on over to Prague and record, and that was, of course, I mean, if you've ever seen a picture of Prague, I mean, stunningly beautiful, beautiful architecture. So we were pretty blessed.
I feel like the thing that surprised me the most about Poland was just the landscapes. I mean, I've been to Europe many times, like Anna, like Katya, have performed in Europe as a soloist too, and I've been to Prague before, so I kind of knew what to expect there. But I've never been to Poland, and it was like, it's just stunning. Like, we were filming a lot over there, and it's like, my gosh, this is a gold mine. We have to come back here. This place is gorgeous. It was really, and of course the people are gorgeous too. So we always felt very blessed every time we've traveled to encounter a lot of really lovely people. So that's always been the highlight.
For sure.
So, and did you guys ever experience, when we were there, so we went like with the high school orchestra when I went, and my father's grandma is Ukrainian, but I wasn't really familiar with the culture. But when we would finish a concert, they would come up with like this lovely loaf of bread. Have you guys ever tasted? You know about that?
So sweet. Aww.
Yeah, it is very Ukrainian. Yeah.
What is it? Katya, what's the tradition behind that? Do you know what the roots are for?
I don't know. When you go to Eastern Europe, especially, like, even if you go to any, like, you come in, you knock on the door, you step in the house, are you hungry?
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing, Italian too, right? And the bread is one of those things that's kind of essential for the table. And in Ukraine, we have, the one that looks like a braid, right?
So
like
it's beautiful too.
And and it's usually white and fragrant and a bit of sweet. So I don't really know like the root of that tradition, but I just know that people love to feed you. They give you the bread is, I guess, the easiest to bring, right? Like, I don't know. I think here in Canada, would that be a pie? Like, you go to
I guess so. Like, you bring a dessert or something like that. Yeah, okay, but not on stage. But not on stage. I mean that.
Yeah, that would no. Usually, you would go with alcohol more or flowers. Yeah,
that's right.
was very beautiful. So tell us, okay, so you were recording with the orchestra, and that was for Nothing Else Matters, or
For Nothing Else Matters, we actually we recorded. They recorded in Europe, and we zoomed in, which is interesting, actually, that we did it at a time when we didn't have to do that.
That's right. When it wasn't a thing.
But yeah, that was how we rolled there and back virtually back in the day when we didn't need to.
It was the Macedonian Symphony Orchestra, and they were phenomenal. What a great crew of people, very, very sweet. And again, they loved, so professional, but the conductor Maestro was amazing, and he was making jokes with us, and it was just such a great process.
Yeah, he was awesome.
When it comes to your video production, everything, that's kind of you, Katya, right? You're the one that puts that all together. And
yes,
oh yes,
that's well, basically, I just let my creative animal loose, and I love visual. I also I used to even do the watercolor paintings. I do like everything that, or even clothes design. I always like to be a part of that. So we realized right away that, our hope was that each song of Nothing Else Matters is going to have something. And we hope that we can create videos for every song. And we almost did it, but of course, then we, run into the problems of locking down. But because the other 2-3 videos, especially for the Nothing Else Matters, we planned something very special, again, to shoot in Poland last summer. So that, unfortunately, that did not happen. But yeah, I love creating. I love kind of just using a different perspective. Of course, the drones now help. The cinematic feeling of all the videos, and to get into the mood of the song. Of course, it's very important to create something that when people listen to it, it kind of comes as a package, and they really can relate to the song much faster than just listening to it without the video.
Absolutely, it just draws the audience in. And like I said, you guys are really big on YouTube. You have huge views and everything.
Yes.
And what's it like? So you guys are a group, and we're in a business that can be difficult as women. So it must be a benefit to have the three of you guys working together and kind of navigating even some of those awkward interview questions. Just,
For sure. Well, I mean, I'm going to say this has not been awkward at all.
Okay,
no, not at all. Not even remotely.
No, but yeah, I mean, we always say, people ask us about the group dynamic and having 3 women together, and yeah, we're 3 very strong women, and we're 3 women who all know what we want and how we like it, but we hear each other, we work together closely, and I genuinely have fun doing it, and have our goal is so unified. We all have the same goal. We're all working really hard on the same end game, and it really honestly is so much more nourishing to my soul, I know, at least, to have people to do it with. We've all been soloists. The 3 of us come from that background. And although it's amazing, and we always cherish those solo moments, but it's not nearly the same as enjoying it in the moment with someone, going through those things with someone in the moment. So it's I think for us, I personally feel really blessed that we're able to do that.
Yeah, I feel especially recently we have been talking so much about how would we do this alone? It's just crazy. We so appreciate the camaraderie between us, and we I think we've each been surprised by how many people have come up to us and been like, "So do you guys actually get along in real life?"
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, "Why do we look like? Do we look like divas or something?" Maybe, but I thought no, we're actually super. We have so much fun, and we usually die laughing on tour so much that we have to stop laughing so that we can sing.
Voices, right?
Definitely. We're all like
it's
been laughing so
thing. So we have to keep ourselves in check.
Well, I find, especially when you tour, I can't even imagine
exactly.
if I were to do it on my own.
Hard.
I can't imagine. It's an incredible support, 3 of us, and let's just face it, you're never in perfect health. or
Yes.
mood. And, and we
That's
take
right.
turns. Okay, Anna is a little under the weather. That's okay. We're going to take upon ourselves.
Yeah.
Erin or me, that's incredible when you're on stage performing a show.
Yeah.
And sometimes we would have back-to-back show. So it's incredible to have that team.
Yeah.
But also as a in the creative process, we feed upon it, like, this idea, and then we take it further, and then the other person adds to it. And I think it's just because we have one goal in mind. We love music, we love art, we love perform, and that what just binds us. And then our own individual, little things just kind of like going and like behind us, and we're not focusing on that. And just that's what's driving us, the love and the common goal.
Well, and I also feel like, to be honest, and I think I'm speaking for all of us, but we've all talked about this on tour, like you sort of develop this sort of sisterhood. I mean, we've been working together for so long, and we know each other, and we all are working hard together. Oh, that's my son. Real life still happening. Anyway, so it's always just been such a joy to work with these ladies. Everybody's, like we've said, everybody's on the same page and all trying to work together for the same common goals.
You have to see a Google Doc. That's how I think we need a Google Doc to itemize
Organize.
the other Google Docs locations, because as soon as we like basically thinking or putting the ideas for a show, anything, music,
all the
lyrics,
stuff.
Google Doc. I was like, okay, where's that Google Doc? Where can I find it? So it just tells you that nothing is decided individually. We love the
Collaborating.
and every one of us. Yeah,
I love that. Like, I know you're saying that people always kind of make those assumptions, like, oh, there must be somebody. Like, I mean, come on, we all get along. I think we're just women in the industry. I think when you find another woman, it's just like wonderful. You're happy to be there. It's not a rivalry, and I don't think people always get that.
Exactly. I mean, listen, we all have our moments where we're feeling, like Katya said, either sick or we're feeling a little, you get in a bad mood. The great thing with the ladies is we all know each other so well. We're like, okay, Erin's not feeling great today, so we're gonna just pick up over here, or Katya feels a little low, we're gonna pick, but we'll rally each other, and we will try and make each other laugh and sort of soften things for the other person. So yeah, it's definitely a sisterhood. I would say that's a good way to explain it for sure.
Now, you guys, very early on, you had Zoom things starting to happen. You had O Canada, which was a wonderful collaboration. Tell us how you guys got started with that and who you roped in to be part of it.
Yeah, well, no, we were the creators actually of that.
Yeah.
Once we had our big shutdown, and of course we had to come to terms with the fact that so many of our upcoming concerts and tours were going to be canceled, and a lot of our plans had to be put on hold or be changed entirely. Once we had sort of done that, Katya was like, okay guys, we need to get something going here. And she sort of was like, okay, we got to make it happen. And so we started a series.
Day.
That's right.
That's right. Mother's Day.
We started a series called ViVA Gone Virtual, and we had a bunch of different concerts inviting different local talents who were incredible and that we've known for a long time. And we put together a series of concerts and also interviews and different things that we thought were interesting, maybe like we did a masterclass with some of the young people in Toronto, and we had a bunch of interesting things happening there. So, Katya, maybe you want to talk a little bit of the O Canada concert.
Well, I mean, we're Canadian, and
proudly, yes.
And it's one of those things. We were planning the events for the rest of the year. We knew it's not going to be a few months. We knew it's going to be at least 6 months to a year or more. And you just imagine, what are you doing? There's a Canada Day. Okay, well, you can have a barbecue, and you can also watch a concert that ViVA Trio put together. And what was really pleasantly surprising, that whoever we contacted said yes, which was incredible, because usually, like, 2 years ago, if we were to put the concert, a lot of people are busy. Okay, that person is leaving, that person is on tour. And this time, whoever we said, would you like to be a part of the concert, said, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so excitingly, that was like, wow, that's going to be an amazing experience. So we have our music director, Mark Camilleri, and we just basically said, Mark, we want to do something spectacular, a new version of O Canada. We have these and these and these people who are fantastic in all the different, genres. And he put the piano bass for us, and we just basically, I signed,
which was
you do
epic.
These lines, you do these lines, send me this by phone or whatever, and everybody recorded on the phone or in the home studio, send me the tracks, and then we of course edit our tracks, and I edited together, and Dima Graziani mastered it, and we were able to release. And I think it's one of the best versions out there. I honestly,
I've not heard anything like it before.
Yeah, it's cool. Really beautiful,
and it's showcasing such amazing Canadian talent. Like we have so much talent here, and I think that was a big part of our virtual series, was also giving an opportunity to other solo artists to perform. Mm-hmm. So we were very much, we're the trio, and we're working together and we're doing our own thing, but we thought, why not bring these people in and collaborate with them and give them an opportunity to share their music, tell people what they're up to, where they can go and be heard, etc. So I don't know, it was just it was one of those things that people were delighted to be a part of. And I agree, the O Canada turned into something that was unlike anything I've heard of our anthem before, for sure. So very exciting.
And of course, after that, we had, we made sure that we featured other artists who could not get into, Canadian show. We did master classes. We had the open mics with the colleagues and other performers, and planned other things. And that brought us to, okay, we're still in lockdown. We're still doing the same thing, which was great because we all also teachers. I don't know if we're going to touch upon that subject, but that really got us through these hard times, honestly, because we couldn't perform, we couldn't, do anything else. And we're just basically focusing as students, producing the concerts online, virtually with the students, which were fantastic. They were so happy. But also said, you know what? We're still in lockdown. What are we going to do? So the Christmas show came about. Mm. So we decided to do the virtual show, and we took it to the next level. So that was the time when we, hired the video crew, when we hired, we rented the wonderful theater, and, the set, the costumes, the volunteers who helped and set up the stage. God bless them. They were
all in masks at the time, all in masks and lathered in hand sanitizer.
I was just going to say that was the 5 minutes that Toronto was open.
Yes, it's true.
It's the 5 minutes that we had, and we were so lucky to get that done in that time. And then after that, we went into lockdown again. So it was
done. Yeah,
and that was a fantastic show. And now we're able to offer the show also to the theaters because we recorded. A few theaters already streamed it last year, but so what? I mean, we haven't performed it live. And again, one of the highlights of that was 12 Day of Christmas that we kind of put together. And it was a lot of fun. That's another, gave us an opportunity to show our characters and to fool around. Like it was fantastic. That was a really good show. Again, Mark Camilleri on the piano, and we did it live. So loads of good times. Yeah. And and then after that we said, okay, we did this and we did that. And when is the next album coming up?
Yeah. We're like, well, since we're not going back on tour.
We're still not performing. This is the perfect time to start creating new material. Yeah. And so basically that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So you guys just released Siren Song. And you guys, in the press release, you're talking about how it's a little bit of a departure for you. It's more, it's kind of nature, it's symphonic, electronic. Tell us a little bit, what ideas are you trying to incorporate now in your music?
Right. Well, we all collectively decided that we would be interested in this idea of experimenting with a slightly different look, a slightly different sound, and even the topic, the material that we were going to sing about the subjects would be also slightly different. So in the past, it was like each was a standalone song, and more operatic, more anthemic, very symphonic. And this new direction that we're sort of angling into is going to have a lot more electronic elements. It's going to have a lot more of a cinematic overall feel. And in terms of the look, we are going to incorporate more story and have a lot more theatrical type elements in our upcoming stuff. Siren Song is like a taste, because it's actually not a part of the album that we're putting together right now. It's sort of a foray into this concept, and a sort of taste for our fans to see where we're headed. But the where we're actually going with this album is a full storyline based on folklore. We're not giving too much away. More is coming. But we will be putting together a whole album of music that's all connected, and we're each going to be a character in the story.
Which we will then hit the stage with.
Yes.
So it will be a concept album turned into a stage show.
I love that.
We also announced just a few days ago, I think 2 days ago, right, that one of the co-writers and producers on an album would be Ryan Lauder.
That's right.
And you know him because he was a producer on Dido, on Uriel, and artists from London, UK, which we're also excited because we always wanted to collaborate with people from Europe, from England particularly. And so one song is almost ready, and it's fantastic. It's not going to be released anytime soon, but it gives us just that emotional satisfaction, and
It's buoying us up for this whole
Yes.
thing, right? It's given us the starting point for the rest of the album. So, and he is fantastic to work with. So
Yeah.
The other approach, of course, because now we are going to release all our original compositions, which this particular album will not have covers. However, the songs should, like the way we feel, they should kind of hit close to home, and they should be the ones that you want to hear again and again. And so the goal is to be releasing not the whole album as a package at once. We're going to be released a song by song. We're considering to also open the Patreon and to basically to incorporate that into the marketing, into the just getting a fans to
feel like they're a part of it. Absolutely.
To be a part of this project. Exactly. So, and there are a lot of surprises coming up. Like each song has its own twist, own story, very exciting. As soon as we again out of the lockdown, we're already starting the first photo shoots. We're going to do multiple videos, and that's why, we probably need to invite our fans and, the people that love our music to participate and support us because of the magnitude of what we're planning to do.
Yeah, I was going to just jump off of what Katya was saying, which is, we are planning to start a Patreon account. And because there are so many moving parts to this upcoming album, there's just so much to talk about, and we want to involve them. So we're looking forward to doing that, and there'll be more coming with that announcement.
I mean, even we do have electronic sound because we just want to experiment with this more fantasia, with a more, just fairy tale, something like we're part of it when we were performing operas. There's always a story. There's always drama, but there's always some kind of a beautiful finale, behind that. And each of our songs will be also orchestrated for the full orchestra. So we will be able to offer this as a product, on a small scale, like for the small local theater, or on a bigger scale with the full orchestra. So that this is our final goal.
I'm very excited to see how the production of this works out, because I think even something like Celtic Women, just the production value, it really draws you in. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but
for sure. Yeah.
So this should
And
be
people
very
are
exciting.
let's face it, people are visual. We want
Heavens.
to hear beauty. Of course we want to hear it, but we need to see it. So I think this is going to satisfy both of those things.
Well, keep us informed. We'll definitely want to share more when it comes up and about your
Awesome.
Patreon
Absolutely.
also. So tell us, what's the next thing for you guys? So you have Siren Song. Everyone go download that. Streaming is great, but downloading is better. So do you have another Zoom concert coming up? I know we've asked you to be part of one of our concerts. We're very excited about that. So what's next?
We'll be a part of that for sure. We're looking forward to that. Well, I think we're in studio, in our own home studios,
Nice.
recording, writing. We of course check in with our public. I mean, we're pretty active on social media, so you can always find out what's next for us. But we're sort of waiting. We really do need to figure out what's going on in terms of lockdown, because of course at that point we'll be in studio, as Katya says, we'll be doing photo shoots and we'll start a video shoot. So.
Yeah, we have. I was just
sorry.
gonna say,
Yeah.
we do have shows scheduled in December and beyond, but it's all kind of like
We're
fingers
just
crossed
waiting.
everything's working and
Yeah.
we're going ahead with this, and we're hoping that, of course, we're all going to be getting our vaccines and look forward to being able to work together in a more normal way. But until that time, we're basically going to be hunkering down and working on this massive album. That's the main project right now.
Yeah, but for our fans, they should expect our next release, which will be a part of our album. I would just say I'm planning first week of June, because we're planning to actually finish the song and do a video shoot and photo shoot end of May. And so definitely, and the song is going to be a surprise as well. There will be,
and then subsequently, I think our goal is to then release a track every month from that point, or every 6 to 8 weeks at most. So that's the plan. I mean, all things, obviously we have to take into consideration a lot of different things, but that's the goal. So you'll definitely be hearing from us sooner rather than later.
Yes.
So my last question is, beyond the music, what are you guys doing at home? You mentioned lessons. What else are you doing to stay sane during this time?
Who wants to start?
Well, I'll start. Sanity. Yes, well. No, I have to say I think we're all very lucky. We're all in good, healthy homes that we're all fed. We've got beautiful roofs over our heads. I mean, there's no complaints there. I have said this so many times. People are probably sick of hearing it, but like, I'm so happy I got my dog when I did. Yeah. I got her right before this, and she was really, honestly, she needed my focus and attention so much that it sort of it's been a joy for me to do it. And any other time I may not have had that opportunity to bond and connect, and she gets me outdoors so much, and it's just that's been great. And I have a wonderful partner, and he has 2 beautiful children, so this is I have no complaints. So yeah, that's my sanity.
I'm similar to Anna. Like, I had a baby in 2019 September. So I basically spent, the majority of COVID just chilling with him. And that's been great for him. And it's been great for me and my husband. And, but like the ladies, I'm teaching a full slate of students and meeting with ViVA, twice a week. We're recording, we're writing. I don't literally have much time for much else, to be honest.
Yeah.
If things were open, I don't think I'd be really available, to be very honest. This is as much as I can really take on.
It's true. It's true. You think it's going to be downtime, but it's
I don't have really any downtime. With the baby, I'm chasing most of the time. So
at the time, the toddler too. He's becoming a toddler. I remember those times. 100%. Well, I'm the same as ladies, but what was interesting, because when you asked this question, I was like, oh, you asked me about the bread and where the tradition comes on, because as soon as we hit the lockdown, I was like, what are you going to do? I'm going to start making bread.
Oh, yeah, that's so right. That's so true. You did.
Like, where's this coming from? I have no idea.
Funny.
Like, I started, right?
You did, yeah.
sourdough starter and started making bread, and I posted on the social media. Katya's making bread.
Katya is actually a very good cook, all of you guys. Like, we can all vouch for her cooking. It's excellent.
Honestly, I'm a good cook, but I'm not cooking something every day, 3 times a day. I cook very simple every day, like, soup and salad, something fast. But then on the weekend or on a special occasion, there's something special coming,
for lemon tarts.
What I like to do.
Oh God, those are good.
I don't have time for the routine to cook 3 times a day.
No.
I have 14-year-old teenager son, and it's been tricky because we're a very active family. Like, we love to spend times outdoors. We play tennis, we bike, we hike, we go in places. I'm very outdoorsy with the lockdown, you just have to be very creative because, my son, all he wants to do is to be on a computer, and let's just face it, and sleep. That's basically it. And especially now, he doesn't even go to school. So, majority of time is like planning to be like what the lady says. I literally don't have spare time. So it's either if I have half an hour, let's go for a walk. Here's me teaching, here's me cooking, here's me going out to have a tennis lesson. So stuff like that. And yes, of course, we feel like we're in COVID. There is no question about that. But I think the pill for me, the medicine for me, is to stay as creative on a regular basis as possible.
It's helping a lot.
To actually plan the time I'm going to be creative. Because, if you don't plan this hour to write or to compose or to have Zoom with the composer or the producer, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So it's basically planning, living, and staying active.
Yeah. I think this time has really cemented what's important to everybody, right? Because it's like we always have those things where if I had time, I would learn this or I would do this. But now that we kind of have time, I mean, besides work, you really see, well, these are the areas that I really want to focus on and pour my time into.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, ladies, for being on. It's been so much fun chatting with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And we look forward to having them on the concert very soon. So stay tuned for those details.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you, Natasha.
Thanks for joining us again, friends. Please go ahead and check out ViVA Trio if you can. Download their new single and stay tuned for all their new music coming very soon. If you missed our special mini concert from Classical Reflection, check out that link above. And we'll have this month not only another interview next week, so join us then, but we also have another mini concert from the wonderful soprano Agna G, and we have our first The Sound of Crossover concert of the year, and this one will be based on love songs, so you'll definitely not want to miss that. So go ahead, hit subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next week.